Several people sustained injuries after a crowd crush at Mahakumbh Mela in India's Prayagraj. There has been reports of multiple casualties, but authorities yet to provide any specific information. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is continuously monitoring the situation and is in constant touch with the state government. He's also spoken to the Chief Minister at least 4 times and is giving directions for normalization and relief as well. The stampede took place near the Sangam, that's the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati rivers on Wednesday. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister appealed to the devotees to not pay attention to any rumours. He requested people to take a dip at their nearest ghat and not to try and go towards the nose of the Sangam. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be visiting the White House next week. This will make Netanyahu the first foreign leader to meet Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. since Trump's return to the White House. According to a statement released by the Israeli Prime Minister's office, Trump has invited Netanyahu to the White House on the 4th of February. The meeting comes after the U.S. president repeatedly claimed credit for sealing an ongoing ceasefire deal. U.S. President Donald Trump's West Asia envoy Steve Witkoff met with a top advisor to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in Saudi Arabia. According to a report, Witkoff sat down with Hussein al-Sheikh following weeks of back-channel communications. Further, Palestinian President Mahmoud Mustafa met with new head of Syria Ahmad al-Shara in a first such meeting in 15 years. According to a statement by Palestinian Prime Minister's office, Mustafa conveyed the greetings of President Mahmoud Abbas and the Palestinian people to the leadership and the people of Syria. Israel's UN envoy vowed to cut ties with the UNRWA and any body acting on its behalf. The action was supported by Washington, signaling a change in the US position on the agency by the administration of President Donald Trump. Israel's statement drew condemnation from aid groups, and this comes as the Royal Jordanian Air Force launched a humanitarian air bridge operation to deliver aid to Gaza. According to the Director of Military Information, flights will be conducted every day using Black Hawk helicopters, and the aid will be delivered to Israel's Kisufim crossing. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that his country could hold peace talks with Ukraine, but ruled out speaking directly with President Zelensky. Talking to State TV, Putin claimed that peace talks had started as early as February 2022, but it was Ukraine which wanted to continue fighting. Putin also said that Ukrainian leader was illegitimate because his presidential term had expired during martial law. In response, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that there was a chance to achieve real peace, but that the Kremlin chief was frustrating efforts to stop the fighting. He also said that the Russian president is afraid of negotiations. France is discussing with Denmark the prospects of sending troops to Greenland after US President Donald Trump's warning to annex the Danish territory. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot in an interview spoke about the ongoing discussions between the two nations, but also mentioned that Denmark does not wish to proceed with the idea at the moment. Barrot's comments came as Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen was touring European capitals to drum up support from allies in dealing with Trump. The Danish Prime Minister is also expected to meet NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in Brussels. US President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration has intensified. The large-scale deportation operation has now reached New York City. US Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem joined the immigration operation with the Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) in New York on Tuesday and posted photos on social media platform X. She also said that ICE has arrested a criminal alien charged with kidnapping, assault and burglary, without giving further details on the suspect or the scope of the operations. The White House said that the crackdown was targeting criminals who've entered the United States illegally. US President Donald Trump has ordered a freeze on federal funding. The decision could disrupt education, healthcare, poverty programs, housing assistance, disaster relief, and several other initiatives that depend on federal dollars. However, a federal judge halted the order shortly before it was to take effect on Tuesday afternoon. The order was until at least Monday, after several non-profit groups filed suit claiming it was illegal. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt has defended the move as part of Trump's bid to make the government good stewards of taxpayers' dollars. As Chinese AI application DeepSeek surpasses American tech giants, the pushback has begun from US government and lawmakers citing concerns for national security. US Navy has instructed its members to avoid using the Chinese model due to potential security and ethical concerns associated with the model's origin and usage. Several lawmakers have also weighed in with concerns about the application's access to US users. DeepSeek, which is based in the Chinese city of Hangzhou, notes in its privacy policy that the personal information that it collects from its users is held on secure servers located in China. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has reaffirmed his commitment to the country's nuclear program, vowing to continue it indefinitely. The statement comes after US President Donald Trump announced plans to renew diplomatic efforts with North Korea. Visiting a nuclear material production facility, Kim Jong-un warned of an inevitable confrontation with hostile nations while emphasizing the importance of bolstering North Korea's nuclear forces in 2025. Kim's nuclear factory visit follows North Korea test firing C-2 surface strategic guided cruise missiles last Saturday, its first weapons test since US President Donald Trump's return to the White House on the 20th of January. Thousands of passengers were left stranded after Bangladesh railway workers launched a strike against the interim government, demanding higher pensions and other benefits. Bangladesh's railway union called for strikes after failing to reach a deal with Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus. The railway union said that the strike would continue indefinitely until the interim government accepts their demands. Following this, Bangladesh Railway Advisor called the nationwide strike as regrettable and has urged the union to call off the strike. As rebels have seized Congo's key city of Goma, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio pressed Rwanda for an immediate ceasefire in the country. Rubio also voiced alarm over Kigali-backed rebels entering Goma. According to a State Department statement in a call with the Rwandan President Paul Kagame, Rubio stressed the United States is deeply troubled by the escalation of the ongoing conflict in eastern DRC, particularly the fall of Goma to the Rwandan-backed M23 armed group. The US Embassy in Congo's capital Kinshasa urged citizens to leave Congo after protesters attacked several missions over the conflict in Goma. UN Space Agency ISRO has successfully accomplished a milestone 100th rocket launch at 6:23 a.m. today. The GSLV Mark II lifted off from the second launch pad at India's Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. This is the 17th launch of India's GSLV Mark II rocket and the 8th flight of this variant with an indigenous cryogenic stage. The GSLV Mark II rocket carried the NVS-02 satellite. That's an Indian-built navigation satellite that's meant to serve civilian and defense users. Following floods caused by heavy rain in western France, authorities in Rennes held a crisis meeting to take stock of the situation. During the meeting, French authorities said that they are expecting fresh rainfall in the next few hours. The heavy rain triggered by Storm Hermine saw western France experiencing some of the worst floods in 40 years. The French weather department has warned that the situation could get worse. In addition, authorities have issued an orange alert for floods in the French Alps. French authorities have accused Binance of money laundering, which was reportedly used for drug trafficking, tax fraud and other offences. The investigation was triggered after complaints from investors who claimed that they suffered financial losses on the Binance platform. Users alleged that they were misled by inaccurate information provided by the exchange. Meanwhile, Binance has denied the allegations, stating it has significantly improved its compliance measures. The French investigation adds to the growing legal scrutiny facing the crypto giant, which has faced lawsuits and regulatory actions in various countries. Last year, Binance founder and former CEO Changpeng Zhao was sentenced to 4 months in prison after pleading guilty to violating US money laundering laws. OpenAI has launched a special version of their popular AI chatbot designed specifically for US government agencies. It's called ChatGPT Gov. The new tool will be available on Microsoft Azure. ChatGPT Gov will offer many of the features available on ChatGPT Enterprise, OpenAI's offering for businesses. The custom tool is designed specifically to make it easier for government agencies to use OpenAI's powerful AI tools while addressing their specific security and privacy needs. This announcement comes just hours after OpenAI CEO Sam Altman admitted that they'll be slowing down some of their release. This comes on the heels of a major shakeup in the tech world, with the new Chinese companies called DeepSeek causing a bloodbath in the AI market and making investors take a closer look at the massive investments being poured into AI. Artificial intelligence could revolutionize breast cancer detection. According to a report by the Norwegian Institute of Public Health, AI algorithms can predict which women are at high risk of developing breast cancer. Researchers analyzed mammograms of over 116,000 women. 1,607 of the women who participated in the trial developed breast cancer at a later stage. The algorithm was able to predict which women ran a higher risk of developing breast cancer and even identify which breast was at risk 4 to 6 years before a diagnosis. Brent crude steadied around $77 a barrel as investors weighed the impact of potential US tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports, while largely shrugging off an increase in US weekly crude inventory. Benchmarks fell to multi-week lows early this week as news of surging interest in Chinese startup DeepSeek's low-cost artificial intelligence model prompted concerns over energy demand to power data centers, rattling the overall energy sector, while weak economic data from China further soured the demand outlook. Starbucks reported a smaller than expected fall in first quarter sales. Experts are suggesting that it may be early signs of the struggling coffee chain benefiting from CEO Brian Niccol's efforts to revive demand. The company's shares rose 0.5% in extended trading. They've gained nearly 30% since his appointment in August last year. Niccol is credited with reviving the burrito chain Chipotle Mexican Grill in his last CEO role. He aims to return Starbucks to its coffee house roots in the United States by rolling out a simpler menu, ceramic cups, refills and condiment bars, and cutting wait times at the cafes to under 4 minutes. Short-term traders are proving eager to bet on rapid recovery in Nvidia, pouring money into the three largest leverage exchange-traded funds, which are linked to gains in the share price of the AI chip-making giant. Speculators and traders flock to buy leveraged funds, which aim to deliver double the daily return in Nvidia. Remember, the company's stock suffered the biggest one-day fall in market capitalization in history on Monday in response to news that China's DeepSeek launched a new artificial intelligence model. The Japanese yen attracted some buyers during the early Asian trading session and recovered a part of the previous day's losses against its American counterpart amid expectations of more interest rate hikes by the Bank of Japan. Apart from this, the recent decline in the US Treasury bond yields, fueled by rising bets that the Federal Reserve would keep cutting rates in 2025, should limit the downside for the low yielding, according to experts.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.